Hello everyone, welcome to the channel for a Battlefront 2 tips video. In this video, I'm going to be going over the strengths and weaknesses of Luke Skywalker. If you like the tips in this video, be sure to give a thumbs up and comment. And if you think I'm wrong about anything, you can dislike and comment as well. That's all cool, still helps me in the algorithm. I was going to do all the light side heroes in one video, but I thought that'd be too long, so I'm doing them all individually. And bear in mind, this video is not taking star cards into account whatsoever. Let's get into it. So Luke's biggest strength is his swing speed. His lightsaber swing speed is easily the fastest in the game, not counting Dooku's duelist of course, and it allows him to damage his enemies with 2 hits more often than not after a knockdown, whereas with someone like Anakin, since he swings more slowly, you're more likely to only get 1 hit off. But Luke, no, he can get those 2 punish attacks in basically every single time he knocks somebody over. Luke's next strength is his health regeneration speed. His health regenerates at a speed of about 110 health per second, and it only takes 2.7 seconds for it to begin coming back. Every other hero is at least a second above this. So Luke has by far the fastest health regeneration speed. He only needs a couple of seconds to recover from anything before he can come back and start to damage his enemy, who may be trying to recover themselves. That enables Luke to be one of the most aggressive characters in the entire game. Another one of Luke's strengths is his movement speed. Luke actually has the fastest base sprint speed in the game at about 8.5 meters per second, just over, which is actually faster than anyone else, and he has his rush, which can enhance his speed even further. This means that you can run away from every single villain, with the exceptions of Darth Maul and Boba Fett, and you can basically outrun anyone on the light side except for Yoda. Luke's rush animation, it is slightly janky, not as fluid as Maul's spin or Yoda's dash, but it does enable him to move faster nonetheless, and it is still a very good ability. Luke's movement speed is among the best, and it's one of his strengths that you should try to play towards. Make sure to be constantly mobile, as he's one of the most mobile saber heroes in the entire game. However, Luke does have a couple of pretty big weaknesses, the first of which is his health regeneration. It's a strength and a weakness because he regenerates it very quickly, but he only regenerates 200 health after taking damage, meaning any saber villain who double parries you is going to be damaging you permanently. You're not going to be able to regenerate that. So Luke is extremely liable to taking chip damage, and that's why getting too aggressive too quickly with Luke, well, it can leave you with half your health gone, and then you'll be limping the entire fight. So just bear that in mind when playing as him. Luke's next big weakness is his very low stamina. Now, many people don't realise this, but without the aid of star cards, Luke can only swing 10 times, which is just less than pretty much everybody else, and he deflects less combined blaster and saber attacks than anyone else on the light side, and on the dark side he only has a decisive advantage over General Grievous and a slight edge over Darth Maul, and he doesn't have the speed that Maul does. Luke in a saber fight without the aid of star cards is vulnerable to characters with high stamina and fast attacks like Kylo Ren and Count Dooku, because they can easily spam him down and still have some left to then damage him, and he doesn't have the stamina to really fend them off. So just keep that in mind while playing as him. It's also a misconception that Luke has very, very good stamina regeneration, when in fact it's only about average. Luke's stamina starts regenerating after 1 second, which is good, but then it takes 3 seconds to go from none to full, which is actually the joint slowest in the game, so that kind of averages out. So his stamina regeneration is not actually as fast as many people think, so just keep that in mind. Luke also lacks the ability to combo like some of the other heroes can. Darth Vader can combo with his choke, and Anakin with his pull and might, say, and Rey with her dash strike. Luke, however, his abilities often knock people so far away that getting any further punishment in can be very, very difficult, and it's pretty frustrating, although they kind of had to do that to balance Luke out, as with the swing speed, if he could combo like Anakin could, boy, he would be overpowered. So they obviously had to balance that out, but yeah, Luke can have a tough time landing combos on enemies due to the way his abilities are set up. Another slight weakness of Luke is that his repulse animation is a little telegraphed. It's nowhere near as bad as some ability animations, honestly, but if you use it at the wrong time, yeah, let's just say you're probably going to be losing like permanent health because his repulse animation, often an experienced player will see it and then they'll know it's coming. They'll be able to block and parry it. Now again, it's not nearly as bad as some other abilities in the game, but this is a minor thing that I just thought I'd mention. Another thing is that Luke can have a tough time getting through a block. None of his abilities can damage an enemy through a block, like say last hit of Kylo's Frenzy. Obi-Wan's defensive rush can maneuver around blocks quite easily. Anakin's passionate strike, say. But Luke doesn't have any abilities like that. And without the aid of star cards, Luke can't really break a block in that way. So he can have a hard time. Combining that with his low stamina as well means it is pretty difficult to get through an enemy's block. Now, I've made it sound like Luke has more weaknesses than strengths, and honestly, without star cards, yeah, that's pretty true. He does have more weaknesses than strengths, and he's not the easiest character to get the hang of. I would not recommend him to newer players at all. His low stamina would leave them out very frequently, especially considering how trigger happy most of them tend to be, and his health regeneration, yeah. If you're a new player, that's probably going to be frequently costing you your life. Luke does improve a lot when star cards come into play, and if you want to see me do a video on what I think are the best star cards for Luke, then please request it, as he does massively improve when star cards come into play, and he becomes almost a totally different hero. But yeah, cardless Luke, he can be very dangerous, but he can also be shut down pretty easily. Anyway, I think that's about all that I wanted to say, and peace out.